إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وآله إنك حميد مجيد أما بعد عباد الله. All praise due to Allah and His praise and blessings and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam, his family, his companions and his followers until the day of judgment. I bear witness that Allah is the only one worthy of worship and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam his last and final messenger. My dear brothers and sisters, as we all watching the new members who newly elected taking their positions in the government, in whatever level we talk about, somebody asked me a question, and that one inspired me actually to change my talk today to address this point. He was telling me this is how it should be, and he's kind of very impressed by the democratic process that we have in the country for electing people and the change that happened. And I agree to a certain extent that yes, we have a system that allowed change to happen. But this system is far from being perfect, far from being even near to what Islam have vision for society to have or for community to achieve. Because there are so many elements that still exist, suppress so many voices and changing so many things towards what's lobbyist and what's basically people benefits and so forth. So I found that sometimes people are overly impressed by things and that basically they don't see it from all perspectives. And for us as Muslims, it's so important always to keep in mind one of the benefits of having the Muslim connected to history, not to live in the past. No. Knowing the life of Muhammad ﷺ and the stories of al-Khulafa al-Rashideen were not meant to be just living in the past or living, in kind of utopia or imaginary society. No, that was a real society that exists and can be replicated. If it's not 100%, in many areas or many ways it can be replicated today. While I'm thinking about how we make legislation, the point that came in my mind, Umar radiallahu anhu ardah. Umar for me was a person who really truly represents how law were made to serve people. I'm not talking about the law that's already preordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the law that basically manage everyday's life. That was left, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala left to people to do it. And we all know that the law is as good as the people who apply the law, who practice the law. That's why Islam is a perfect religion. If you bring a corrupt leader, a corrupt government, a corrupt person, he will make that beautiful system very corrupt system and very corrupt country. And we saw this in history and we see it in modern days. Umar radiallahu anhu once was attending a dinner, and at that dinner a man was eating with his left hand. So Umar radiallahu anhu reached out to the person and he sat next to it. And he said, Ya Abdullah, why don't you eat with your right hand? قال إن يميني مشغولة. He said, my right hand occupied, I can't use it. Then Umar said, occupied with what? Eat with your right hand. He said, you heard me. My right hand can't. Is occupied, or it is, I'm not able to use it. So Umar insists to know what is he hiding, because his right hand was hidden under his coat or garment that he had on. Then Umar radiallahu anhu, finally, after he insisted, the man told him, just turn man told him, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, I got hurt in the battle of Mu'tah in my right hand, and I can't use it anymore. It became unable to move it. He's a veteran. He's an injured in the battlefield. Umar baka. Umar started crying. Not only because he have accused him or thought of him, he's just being arrogant, doesn't want to eat with his right hand. No. قال عمر فمن يوضئك فمن يلبسك فمن يطعمك فمن يخدمك. Who is feeding you? Who's taking care of you? Who providing for you if you can't use your right hand? Then Umar cried. He said, we used you in war. Then we left you afterwards. Then Umar radiallahu anh said, he made a law that anyone who comes after the war, injured, that the government will provide for him, or he will provide for him, the government will provide for him, a servant that he will serve him and will take care of him, and to make sure that his disability was taken care of. Umar used to go out in the night, not to spy on people, not to see what the public opinion is. No, Umar radiallahu anh used to walk out in the night to see what the people's needs are, how people feel, what people need. And one day Umar radiallahu anh passed by this house, and he heard this woman talking to herself. And you can imagine a very quiet Medina, any voice can easily travel. Any talk and any conversation can be easily heard. So he overheard her, she sang, or part of what she said, لَقَدْ طَالَ هَذَا اللَّيْلُ وَاسْوَدَّ جَانِبُهُ وَأَرَّقَنِي أَلَّا حَبِيبٌ أُدَاعِبُهُ فلولا الذي فوق السماوات عرشه لزعزع أو لحرك من هذا السرير جوانبه. Umar was shaking when he heard that this woman so lonely, and she was saying that in this long night of the winters, cold long night, I'm by myself, no one to talk to, no one to play with. Wasn't for Allah, the one who's thrown above the heavens, this place will be so crowded and this bed will not be empty. But I fear Allah. Then Umar radiallahu anh called her and he said, what's wrong with you? Then she told him that her husband was drafted. He's in the army and he'd been out there for more than a year. And she didn't see him for more than a year. Then Umar said, tell me, how long a woman can stay without husband? She felt shy and she didn't answer. He said, I'm asking you, would you please let me know? Then she said, it depends, but maybe maximum 4 months and maybe 6 months. Then Umar radiallahu anh made an order. There is nobody allowed to be drafted into the army more than 6 months. So no woman will suffer. No family will suffer missing their husbands again. Radiallahu anh Umar. Umar radiallahu anh, in another incident, while he's in Medina, he heard a mother, her baby crying, and she let him cry so much. Then Umar came back and knocked on the door. And he said, why your baby crying? Are you missing food? Why is he crying so much? Then she said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, inni aftimuh. I want him to stop breastfeeding. That's why the baby's crying. Then he said, is he 2 years old? She said, no, not yet. Then he said, why you want to stop breastfeeding him early? She said, because I know that you have made a rule, كلما فطم وليد فله في السنة 100 درهم. That you have made a law, if there is a baby who not breastfed anymore, that you will give the mother 100 dirham for such child. And I need the money. وإذ عمر رضي الله عنه, see how the laws are made. وإذ عمر رضي الله عنه changed the law. And he said 100 dirham for each born child. قال يعطى 100 لكل وليد وليس لكل ولد يفطى. They said after 2 years to save money, you can save some money to the government or maybe to increase your budget. And he said, no, now for every child, he should be given 100 dirham. I know that the community in Medina is much smaller than modern days, but I don't think it's about the numbers, because also the money were much less than what we have today. As I said, it comes from within, from the person. And that don't just apply to government, apply to every aspect in your life. Apply this to your company, to your family, to the way that we deal with others. Look at Umar radiallahu anh. That's the example that we should be impressed with. That we should, the standard so high. When Umar radiallahu anh in the market, and he saw the color of his most beloved person to his heart, his brother Zayd. Umar, his brother Zayd, was like his best friend, and he's his brother. And that Umar's brother Zayd was killed by the hand of a man in a battlefield, and that person, who's a Bedouin, became Muslim, and things changed. So when Umar saw him, Umar radiallahu anh, they said his eyes was boiling, and the man noticed that he seen in his front of him the killer of his most beloved person, which is Zayd. Then he called and he approached Umar radiallahu anh. And he said to him, Ya Umar, now I'm one of your citizens. Would you love me? Would you take me? Then Umar radiallahu anh قال, والله لا أحبك حتى تحب الأرض الدم المسفوح عليها. I will never love you. I will never feel anything towards you of compassion or anything until the earth would love that blood that was spilled over it. An expression, it's impossible. Then he said, so what I expect from you? Then Umar radiallahu anh said, you expect nothing but justice. And he said, Ya Umar, I don't care for your love. Only women care for love. قال إنما تأسى على الحب النساء ومالي وحبك. He said, I don't care. Do you think I care? Do you love me or I love you? I don't care about that. Only women care for love. Which is wrong, but shows you how kind of mindset that person. Then Umar radiallahu anhu ardah, just leave and move on. Never arrested him, never plot against him, never did anything against him, because he know that in society people have basically the freedom to express themselves, even if that expression maybe insult you or not the nicest thing to be said. Umar radiallahu anh made a law. He put a limit to the dowry. He said nobody should give dowry more than this. Then a woman stopped him in the middle of the street, in front of his people. شوف كيف الخاتبة قالت يا عمر جردته من كل لقب. She said يا عمر, no Amir al-Mu'mineen, no title, no Mr. President, nothing. She said يا عمر. Allah said in the Quran, إن آتيتم إحداهن قنطارا. If you give her a dowry of a ton of gold, 1 ton of gold or more, it's okay. And you putting limits? Allah didn't put limit. And he said, if you give her even a ton of gold, then you coming to put a limit? Then Umar radiallahu anh put his head down and he said, أخطأ عمر وأبصابت المرأة. Umar is wrong and this woman is correct. That shows you that people have the right to object, to change the law, to challenge the status quo. These meanings were so embedded in the Muslim society and historically known to us. But for some reason, which is, I can understand, this happened in certain countries and certain places where people are so oppressed. But if Allah gave us the ability to live in freedom, why we don't revival these concepts of standing for your right and speaking out and making sure that your rights is protected and the rights of others. To make sure that the people who really lead the society are people are motivated by good principles in life. My brothers and sisters, رضي الله عن عمر ورزق الله أمتنا مثل عمر ورزق الله أمتنا أمة مثل أمة عمر. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us and to bless our countries and our lives and our ummah with people like Umar and the people of Umar. أقول ما سمعتم وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد. My brothers and sisters, An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us that the only money that you really keep is the money that you spend for His sake. Anything else that you spend, it will go away. You will benefit from it for a very short period of time. That's what Nabi Sallallahu told Aisha when she donated 1/3 of the sheep. He said, that's 1/3 is the one that you kept. What we ate, what we're eating from it is not that what you kept. It's the real thing, what you kept is what you donated for the sake of Allah. And because of this, we thought about an interesting idea for all of our community here, which is launching a program, and I want to launch it in the beginning of the year. And this program called Keep the Change. Everybody always have a change on his car, his kids, his family, his home. So we made a small little box, and it's written on it, keep the change. Anytime you have an extra change with you, you just put it in the box. And when it is filled, you bring it and you empty it here. You will find a specific box for that purpose. And you empty it. And every time you do that, this will allow everybody. Doesn't matter what your income is. We all have change, alhamdulillah. Encourage your kids to put their change there. Encourage yourself, put it in your car, put it in your house. And I will highly recommend you to avoid double dipping on that box. You put, then when you need change, you reach out and you take the change. Islamically you're allowed to do that, but I would say, just don't do it. Just keep it up. And when you fill it, bring it and basically empty it, and you will find out that very soon it builds up to be something very big. Yesterday, somebody sent me a link to a 16-floor stories in Mecca. Mecca is the most expensive land in the face of this earth, especially around the Haram. And there's 16 stories building there. It's a hotel. Guess what this hotel made of? Made of the change that people used to leave at a grocery store in Saudi Arabia. It's called Banda. Every change that they leave, that they just leave it. They don't take it like this 50 halala, whatever, 10 cents, they just left it. And over a course of 10 years or so, for all the branches that they have all over the country, that's basically the money was put into the waqf, that this waqf will continue to serve a purpose. I forgot what was the waqf for exactly right now. But that building was made of that little changes that people leave behind. So I encourage you that you do that. And also, there is even very soon, hopefully, working on that. There is even an app that we can do that to round up any expense that you do. And hopefully, in a week or two, I will launch that as well here. So even if you buy, so we are after you. You buy in cash or online. So any change that is left, you also can say the left. Let's say it's 16.55 cents. The rest, 45 cents, you can allocate that automatically, electronically to the masjid. These kind of methods, hopefully you will see, and hopefully we can see you by Ramadan how much we collect through that. And as you know, the masjid does not only use that money just to pay bills, which is important, but it means way more than that, helping a lot of people and a lot of projects that we are part of it. So I ask you to take one of the boxes. We only start with the 200 boxes. So take one for your car, or if you have multiple cars, or one of you in your family, that's good. But make sure that only, you take what you really use and you bring it back every time it is filled up. You will find it in the back of the masjid on your way out to pick it up. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless whatever we give and whatever we keep, and to bless our life, and to make this new year a year of blessings, a year of taqwa, and a year of happiness for all of us, and peace for all of us and all the people around the world, especially who are suffering. A year of freedom and dignity, and saving the blood of so many people who've been oppressed around the world. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala أن يغفر لآبائنا وأمهاتنا وأن يغفر لنا وإياكم أجمعين وأن يحيينا وإياكم حياة طيبة وأن يميتنا على الخير والسلامة والإيمان. أقول ما سمعتم يا أرحم الراحمين، أقول ما سمعتم وأستغفر الله لي ولكم إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر الله. اللهم إنا نسألك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام أن تختم بالصالحات أعمالنا، وأن ترحم ضعفنا، وأن تستر عيبنا، وأن تصلح حالنا، وأن تصلح دنيانا وآخرتنا يا أرحم الراحمين، وأن تصلح بيوتنا وأزواجنا، وأن تصلح عيوبنا يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم يا ذا الجلال والإكرام صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا، وقوموا للصلاة يرحمكم الله.